Well, finally, I'm excited to share this. And I finally figured out how to keep the tripod legs more or less out of the picture and give myself some space to work. But this is a tripod leg, and over there is the sun and the beautiful sunset beginning. This has taken a lot of finagling to figure out how to keep the legs out of the picture. So more or less I've done that. So if I can get back to where I was. Oh my goodness, I don't want this to be on. Well, I do. Okay, that's it. And camera's located the right direction. And hopefully I won't bounce it. So this is that envelope journal that I put together. There's the back of it. I finally found one more envelope, and then I spilled beet juice in the refrigerator today, and I said, oh boy, I'll wipe it up with my envelope and I'll have a decorated envelope to put in for my last page. So, taking the envelope, folding it back on itself like so. Sticking it down into there, and then I will glue it. And when I finish gluing it, then I will close that one over it. And that'll be the back of our book. All right, so day one, I had a couple of day ones. I had a cover day one, which is keep a picture in your pocket and a poem in your head, and you'll never feel lonely at night when you're in bed. And that's a good one. It's just a nice one. It's advice, and it's also something to say to yourself. So there's the cover. There's April Fool's Day. Haha, very funny. Nobody could make any jokes. The poem, day two, or day one, and starting with the simple ones for younger kids. March winds and April showers bring forth May flowers. And we're in the same boat, brother. It's Skinny Ribs singing that. The dance track. This is what I was excited to do here. My poem here is Loneliness. A leaf falls. It's by E.E. Cummings. So this is a nice visual poem. Do you see it? So the shape of the poem, I put the spiral behind it, takes the shape of a leaf falling, and that's what this says inside the parentheses. Well, but look, there's a closed parentheses there. I wonder if I made a mistake. I'll have to go look it back up. A leaf falls. Loneliness. How about you could get rid of that and call it oneliness too, whatever. But it's a lovely poem. And it reminded me of my high school friend that I got in touch with online, and now I have something to talk about her with. She did a dance in our high school gym class that was a dying leaf. and she got an A on it. And I thought it was just hysterically funny. Not the dance, just the fact that that was what she chose as a dance. So then when I came across this one, I always think of Lori. She's going by something different now. We all change so much or so little. So, and that's by E.E. Cummings. I read everything he's written. I read it long, long ago, and I love it, and I fall back on it. And he's always had fun. Well, he must have been a terrible narcissist because he just couldn't obey the conventions of regular written English to the point that he refused to use capital letters or punctuation. Although this, friends, is punctuation. So, Loneliness, a Leaf Falls. And I made a little tag out of my tea bags. I had this. I didn't just eat some, but it was around. So I folded it, glued it down, stapled it. Made a little pocket. Fruit labels. Oh, scrap I found on the floor I was going to use on something, so I stuck it there. That's great. So this is how these books grow and grow into something interesting. Next, I haven't glued that in. I found that today, but I'm going to stick it back there. Whatever the weather. Yeah. Whether the weather be cold or whether the weather be hot. Or whether the weather be fine or whether the weather be not. Whether the weather, whatever the weather, whether we like it or not. That's a good poem for kids for W and WH. And it's a good poem for, weathering storms like the one we're weathering now. Whatever the weather, we'll weather the weather, whether we like it or not. And I had another one. Oh, a blue day, a blue jay. Spring is winning. So that's also pertinent to what's going on in all of that. Cab Calloway, I can't remember the song, but it keeps going through my mind. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Make 6'6" when you're 4'5". Hip, hip. I don't know what that is. And I want to know what this means on the Jersey side. My eggs on the Jersey side. And let's see. Traffic, light up or leave me alone. And I still need my poem in here. April 6th, driving rain. So happy with the governor. So these are, personal. I have something for here. I've forgotten what. Passover. We did Who Has Seen the Wind? Neither you nor I. Christina Rossetti's poem. We see the wind. We know it's passing by from what we see happening when the grass bends and all. So these are nice weather and nature poems. Yesterday, rain, rain, rain. Oh, I like to see a thunderstorm, a dunderstorm, a blunderstorm. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Is that. And Sister Rosetta Tharpe singing That's All. This today, just pop it in. What is it? It's, the poem about seeds today, and I haven't posted it yet. And this came out of a tissue box. I opened a tissue box. Well, that's important, really. So I think I'll just glue it straight on like that. And we've got the Celtic Scottish pipe drum music and rugged land video. Tabarnak, the Gael. Bagpipe music. And this I just love. Easter's coming. I love this cartoon. It's just too funny for me. Let me see if I can bring it up here. I like puns. He says, this flyer's got me feeling a bit peckish. Still have those carrots? And the rabbit says, nah. Nah. Sorry, it makes me laugh. All right. That's that. That's what the book looks like. And I'm probably going to have to make this over. This is kind of long. Sorry. I did want to talk about that one particular poem. Well, I don't know whether to make this a separate tape or not, but I'm going to talk a little bit about paper supplies. I'm good here, but there's something that I was doing to make my envelope journals, which is separating the layers of napkins. And it occurred to me that with Easter here, there might be some extra Easter napkins around that the kids would want to get the printed layer off of and put into journals, or adults, I don't care who, but anyway, this is something. And then you have nice soft paper to blow your nose on. Ready? Here are some real pretty napkins. This is tape. How to separate the layers. Now we can sit and pick away at the edges here for a while, and that works too. Look at that. I'm going to do that. This is the nice absorbent layer of a napkin, and this is good for Kleenex. Wouldn't really advise flushing this stuff down the toilets, for toilet paper, because it's not really made to dissolve the way toilet paper does. Okay. I don't know if this is 2 more layers. I think there's another layer here. Yeah, there is. So here's where the tape comes in. This is just magic. You put it in the middle, and you carefully or not, you don't have to be too careful. You don't want to, I don't want to wreck my nice thin layer here. Okay, so this is a second layer, and it is, whoops, marginally harder on the one surface than this first, or the bottom layer, the softest. So that's the softest one. Again, this is nice. You can use this for makeup removal and stuff. Okay. Save your toilet paper. And here's the rest of this. Now, what do you do with this stuff? Well, okay, so I had a little thing left over. This isn't exactly left over, but you know what? Nah. Let's go back to Easter here. I just saw a carrot. I'm going to put that on the yellow one. This magic stuff, now if it gets moist, like sitting outside in a box in rain, it'll give up. The school glue, I think office glue might, well, the best is Mod Podge. But for this, I'm just going to do a quick one. Oh, I forgot something important. I need my waxed paper. Okay, I'm back. Oh, I hear children outside. So nice. Whoops. Do not come and walk on this stuff, please. All right. No, over there. I love you. Oh! See, I don't want you knocking it. It's just too hard. I'm working around this tripod. This is quite abnormal, my dear. It's all right. But you just get used to a few abnormal things, and everything's good. You girls are so smart. And I love the way you just figure out what the nicest thing to do could be. All right, here we go. This might be a bit of a problem too. I'm not going to use that because I'll put it over there. It's slick, so the glue is probably not going to stick well. I'm going to use this. Harley, please come out of the way. I love you. Harley says to tell Mr. DeMille she's ready for her close-up. I love you. Okay. And you'll get fed faster if you let me do this. I ordered from El Pollo Loco today to make sure we all got fed. If I didn't have the cats, I wouldn't have an excuse to get myself El Pollo Loco. All right, so here we go with the magic sauce. And I decided I'm going to use this brush for it. It's a very springy synthetic. Work quickly, smoothly, and carefully. Don't have to be too careful here because that's waxed paper. You don't want to stick your pages together by accident. Well, I went a little overboard, but it's all right. Now here's the magic. Gnaw. They're talking about the carrots. I'm going to put a carrot on this page, just from this nice. And again, don't put it down. Don't push me. Don't push me now. I love you. So I'm crawling around on the floor underneath the tripod with a bag of chicken in the other room and a cat telling me she just loves me desperately. Stop. I love you, and it makes me feel bad to push you away. I want you to notice that I'm doing this. This is not cooking. Every time I do anything with my hands, she figures I'm preparing some food for her. That's part of the problem. Because they don't usually see me doing stuff. They don't get up on counters. I'm sure they've had bad experiences jumping up on top of things that look like flat surfaces from below and are minefields of paper and pencils and who knows what all that come tumbling down when they get up there. So they never have been much for getting up on top of things. So they know when I'm doing something on the cutting board, it has something to do with food. Harley tries to climb up my clothes. Oh, she's found something else to do. Good. All right, that is about all we can do with this. You have to be very gentle. I'm going to tamp it down. This works pretty well. And then, no, I'll go a little bit farther just to make sure it's nice and transparent. I'm not going to get too carried away here. And make sure there's some on the top surface. Oops. Get a little shinier. Again, this is the school glue. It's a plastic glue, an acrylic glue. It's non-toxic. I wouldn't recommend putting it into your mouth on purpose. But we're not putting our hands anywhere near our faces these days. Okay, so now that's just going to dry, And when it dries, then I'll separate all the other parts of the napkin. I'll have a beautiful page there across from Nah. You still have those carrots? Nah. I'm easily amused. Okay. All right. So this is kind of okay. It's pretty casual 20 minutes of what should have been 5. Maybe I can make a short flip through and say, well, this is what I did. And if you want to see what I did, go look at that YouTube video. Thanks for looking.